This tutorial will show how to import and export employee lists from QuickBooks to Excel, and then apply some changes in the Excel file. It could be addition of new employees, it could be editing a few employees and then bringing them back into QuickBooks. Now, QuickBooks has a little different format when it comes to exporting the data into an Excel file. It's not really Excel, but it's Intuit interchange format. So the file can be only saved with an extension of .iif. So I have a company open here, and I do have 3 employees, as you can see here, and I'm going to export them into Excel first. I also have a few more employees that I would like to add, but rather than doing the data entry from here, I already have the list in Excel. So I would like just to copy and paste it in Excel and then import them all into QuickBooks. So let's get started. So I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to click on Utilities, and I'm going to click on Export and choose Lists to IIF Files. And then it's going to prompt me what are the things that I would like to export. And as I said, it's not going to save it as a regular Excel file or even a comma separated file. It's just going to be an employee list with an extension of .iif. So I'm going to click OK once I check the box. Click OK right there. And I'm going to name this as EMP. Let's do new 1. And notice here the extension is .iif. Leave that as is. And I'm going to click on Save. So now I would like to minimize this and go back to my desktop in order to see how the IIF file opens up. Now, it might happen that it doesn't show the Excel icon on your computer because you haven't associated the file to Excel so that it recognizes that IIF files have to be opened in Excel. But then just to show you how this works, I'm going to right-click on the file and choose Open With. And then it's going to prompt you as to which program you would like to use. So once you get the other programs, you want to select Microsoft Excel and click OK. So it's not a regular CSV file, as I mentioned before. It's a little different when it comes to the way QuickBooks actually saves all the information into Excel. So let's say, for example, I would like to add in a new employee. Now, every employee has a reference number and it has to be unique within QuickBooks. So when you're adding in a set of new records into Excel, there are certain things that you definitely need to make sure that you add those. So what I'm going to do here is, let's say I have 2 employees. I don't really have any of the other details. I would definitely change them when I go back to QuickBooks. But there's their personal information. For example, there's SIN number. They might have the address details, as you can see right here. So I'm going to highlight these 2 cells, and I'm going to copy these. I'm going to add it just above. So I'm going to add a few rows just below the last record that I have in the list. So let's do this first. So I'm just going to go into copied cells. Let's do first, let's try again. Okay, so I would like to insert blank rows. So I'm going to click on entire row, and then I'm going to do another row, insert entire row, just so that I have blank rows. Now let's do this. So I'm going to copy that, and then right here, I'm going to paste this. Pretty much the same records get copied over. Now the next thing that I need to do is to change the name. So let's do Bina, and then White, and then I have Bina Davis. I definitely need to add in the reference numbers here. So Bina White cannot be 22 because it's already being used by another employee. So these reference numbers have to be unique. It's like the primary key and access. So Bina White is now going to be, let's do the next number, so 25, and then 26. I also need to make sure that I copy the same numbers, same name in the address file or the address field, and then Bina Davis. We also need to put in the right SIN numbers because if you don't have the right SIN numbers, QuickBooks will throw an error message that this particular SIN number does not exist. So for now, I'm just going to add right there. Okay, so let's do that. I'm hoping that because I'm just making them up, so I'm not too sure as to if it's going to take it. But all the occurrences of these names, wherever I have copied them, need to be changed. So Lena White and Gina Davis. Let's check if we have any other fields that we need to update. No. And then the next thing that we also need to do is, because this is employee information, we also need to copy all their payroll details, because that's also getting recorded in QuickBooks in the IIF file. If you notice that there are pound signs appearing in Excel, it's only because the column width is not big enough. So let's just increase the column width by extending the column margin. And also what I'm going to do is to highlight all these four records, so all these four rows, and copy them and paste them right here. That we don't make any mistakes, because we do want to make sure that the data gets correctly entered in. So right here, I'm just going to say Bina White to make sure that you change the reference number, because this particular record is using a reference number of 25. So if these are a mismatch, it's not going to work. So Gina Davis, and then I'm going to change this to 26. The rest of the information we could leave it as is, because it's pretty much standard when it comes to the deductions and the Ontario payroll tables. They will be updated as we go on. But pretty much all the information that you need in the Excel file that needs to be updated. I'm going to click on the Save button. It prompts me that IIF may contain features that are not compatible, because Excel is trying to save this file not in the IIF format, but it's actually saving it as TXT format. So I'm going to save this, and I'm going to close this file completely. So it prompts me again, so I'm just going to click on Save. It gets saved as the IIF file. If not, if it prompts me again, I'm just going to go back to the desktop. I'm going to click on EMP new one.iif, and I'm going to click save. It prompts me, do you want to replace it? Yes, for sure. And I'm going to close this. Going back to QuickBooks now, I would like to import the file where we recently made the changes. So I'm going to go back to the File tab or File menu, and I'm going to click on Import and choose IF Files. And I should be able to see it on my desktop, EMP new one. It still associates with the Excel file, but that's perfectly okay. It recognizes the extension in QuickBooks. So there it is, and perfect. And we didn't have Bina White and Gina Davis, so those two people have been added to the, and if you double click right there, all the information is updated, along with the tax tables and all the information that we needed to. So under payroll, you should be able to see, or the transactions, you should be able to see all the information appears for those employees. I hope this tutorial has helped a lot of people who were wondering how the IF files need to be imported and exported. Thank you very much for your time, and see you soon.